I think it's a great little tool. And let's try again, shall we, Caroline? Good morning, thank you very much for joining me. Welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you are old. Not if you're old, if you've been before. That was a good start, wasn't it? Welcome anyway, welcome one and all. It feels good to be filming another 5 on Friday. This is my regular series that has been put on hold since the beginning of lockdown, and I'm resurrecting it today. I make one of these 5 on Friday videos, but approximately every other Friday, sometimes a little bit more regularly, sometimes a little bit less regularly, but approximately every other Friday. And today I wanted to talk to you about Pinterest. I feel like Pinterest has gone out of fashion a bit. Does anybody else agree? I feel like when Pinterest first came out, it was such a big thing, and we used to all talk about losing hours on Pinterest, and you don't really hear people talk about it so much anymore. I suppose like everything, things go in and out of fashion, don't they? But I'm still a bit of a fan of Pinterest, and I wanted to sort of perhaps resurrect everybody's interest in it a bit. That's twice I've used the word resurrect in one video in 1 minute and 12 seconds. But never mind, I think I used it appropriately on both occasions, however. So I wanted to share 5 ways in which I still use Pinterest on a regular basis, because I think it's a great little resource, and I think that it is a little bit overlooked now. So without further ado, let me tell you them. And the first thing I use Pinterest for, which I find it really useful for, is compiling a beauty wish list. And I've used it like this for years. I think some of my pins on my beauty wish list go back to about 2015, so I found it works in a nice visual way. On my travels around the internet, I get lots and lots of recommendations for products that I'd like to try. I read a couple of beauty blogs. You guys in my comments quite often share products that you love, and just generally wandering around the internet, you find recommendations. You think, oh, I'd like to try that. And you don't necessarily want to buy it immediately. You think, next time I need a moisturizer, an eyeliner, whatever, I'll get that, and then you bookmark it and you forget about it. But with Pinterest, I find that I can put everything into one place. It's lovely and visual. I can see the what the products look like, and I can scroll back and forth through it and have a look at what's on it, and it just works in a really good way for me to see all these things that I've thought about. And when I'm thinking, oh, I need a new moisturizer, I go to that list, and so I go to my Pinterest beauty wish list board and see what I've pinned and what I'm interested in trying. And then of course, once I've bought them, I can delete them from the board. So I find that is a brilliant way to use Pinterest. Really nice and visual and easy to scroll through. Way that I use Pinterest is for colour palettes, and I originally sort of stumbled upon this when I was doing a lot of crochet, and I'm not brilliant at putting colours together, and so I went to Pinterest for inspiration. I found all these colour palettes, and you could find them for any theme, any combination of colours, and I would look through them and pin the ones that I liked. And I can't tell you how many things that I've crocheted in the past and put the colours of the yarn together from these colour palettes, and it works really well. So for example, if you wanted to, you can type in, so if you want to be very specific, you can type in something like lilac and green colour palette, or orange and grey colour palette. Or if you want to be a little bit more general and you just want to sort of feeling, a theme. You could do perhaps tropical colour palette, or winter snow colour palette, or I don't know, bright colours colour palette. I don't know, but I find it so useful. I've got a whole board of colour combinations that I really like. The other way that I then, after I'd used it for crochet, I started using it for home decor, for inspiration for what colours to put together. Again, with home decor, I don't find it particularly easy to put colour combos together particularly successfully, and so using that as a tool for and to see if things go together well, I found it absolutely brilliant. So that's my number 2. That I like Pinterest for is for lists, which sounds odd. I find it a really nice, again, visual way of seeing lists. I did a film challenge and a reading challenge in 2018, and I used Pinterest to collate the lists of books I'd read and films that I'd watched with the visuals. I thought it was a really nice way of doing them, more so than perhaps a list, just a written list or typed list. I found it nice to look at them in a visual way, and you can use it for lists in all sorts of ways like that. It wouldn't just be films and books. You could do games you played, or films you want to see, or candles you love, anything like that. But yeah, collating lists with that visual aspect I think is great. I really enjoy that. I've got another one for hotels, fabulous hotels that I've stayed at, which is a lovely sort of trip down memory lane when I look at that board. So yeah, if you're a list maker, consider making your lists on Pinterest, because I find it such a nice way to look at lists. Number 4 is quotes. I am a big fan of quotes, and I use Pinterest to pin, on my trips around the internet, when I see quotes that I like, I use Pinterest to pin them and collect them. I've got one board for inspirational quotes and one board for humorous quotes, and they're really useful when you fancy putting a quote on Instagram or something. I refer back to that, and sometimes I just have a little browse through it to get a little bit of inspiration myself, and or to have a laugh. I look at my humorous quotes, and so it's a nice place to collect all those together. All those little things that you see on the internet, you think, oh, I must remember that, you know. Way, number 5, that I use Pinterest is for home decor, which I think is probably one of the things that it's most well known for. I just wanted to show you a couple of my boards that I've used for home decor for this. But I think it's such a brilliant, brilliant inspirational place to find all sorts of ideas, and I'm going to use the word inspiration again, but you know what I mean, ideas, and it's good for sparking the imagination. And if you're not a particularly artistic or creative person, like I'm not, I think it's a great place to be inspired by other people's artisticness and creativity. I'm not sure artisticness is a word, but I've used it anyway, so we'll go with that. But yeah, I'm going to show you a couple of my boards. One, when I decorated my bedroom, which you will have seen a lot in my videos. I'm in it at the moment, my pink and grey theme. There we are. I used Pinterest when I was decorating that, and I'm going to show you my board for that. And also I've got another Pinterest board for ideas for my Mexican tequila bar, which we are planning in our garden. We will get there one day. We've been planning it for a long time, but it will appear, and I've got some great ideas for when we actually get round to doing that on my Pinterest board for that. Those are my 5 ways of, I use Pinterest in other ways as well, but those are 5 that I just wanted to share with you. Tell me in the comments if you guys use Pinterest. Do you find it a useful tool? Are there any ways that I should be using it that I'm not? Something I can find on there that I'm not accessing at the moment? Do tell me, I'd be interested to know. I hope you found this interesting or helpful, or both. If you have, please leave a comment or a thumbs up, and look out for my next 5 on Friday, 2 weeks today. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.